Welcome to Rage Against the Mainstream, your full spectrum source for all things music, insight, and opinion. My name is Bill, and I'm joined here today with Connor and Steve.
Yo.
Dude.
Welcome to the Basement Box Office, your ticket to movie reviews from Two Average Stews. My name is Will.
Whoa. What's happening here?
I forgot to tell you guys, I guess since I'm on two podcasts, I feel like this is a better time than ever to have a crossover.
Never heard of it.
Oh, wow. So you guys are joining me on the Basement Box
Or
Office,
are
right?
you joining us on Rage Against the Mainstream?
Oh, see, I don't know.
3 versus 2.
I don't know what's happening here.
Yeah, but
This is about as
feel outnumbered
ambitious
here.
as Cannibal Corpse appearing on Ace Ventura. What a hybrid
Or
this
Dylan
is.
and the Dead.
Oh yeah.
I guess I'm the swing vote, really. No, I'm not a swing vote.
Not really. If you swing my way, it's still tied. If you swing the other way, I'm fucked.
Well, we share the same office apparently.
Yeah,
So this
Same
is just super
workspace.
convenient.
rent's
yeah.
cheap.
Rent
for
is
right now.
cheap, yeah.
For now.
Me and Steve breathe into the same microphone.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah.
So today is January 20th of 2020. And if you're listening to this on Basement Box Office's podcast feed, today's date is...
January 22nd, 2020.
So, has anyone found out or seen, heard, whatever, anything new or interesting?
In music, definitely. So I don't really talk as much about metal as I do like on in like the public eye. I actually listened to At the Gates, who is huge from the melodic death metal scene, from the Gothenburg, Sweden scene. They were like the pioneers of the melodic. Huh?
Gothenburg.
Yeah, the Gothenburg. Yeah, those Swedes know what they're doing with their metal. But anyway,
Yeah,
At the
all those.
Gates, they released an EP. It's like 6 songs. One of them is a live version of a song off their second album. There's 4 new tracks, I want to say, and a demo version of one of the tracks. There's actually featuring an artist from the band Amoebix. It was a cross-punk band from like the late 80s, early 90s. But it was released January 11th. If you're like Bill, like I know you you listen to the new Children of Bodom album.
Yeah.
And I actually listened to that Hexed. It was actually
It was good,
fairly
wasn't it?
decent. Yeah, it is exactly what you mentioned
I mean,
last
it
week.
just sucks now that they're not even a band anymore.
Yeah, it does suck. But this album, The Dark Tranquility, In Flames, At the Gates, obviously. This is it's just one of those bands, too, which sucks because they don't really tour in the United States. They're one of those, strictly,
Swedish bands.
European
Yeah.
bands that just don't come over the
They
waters.
probably tore in a Volvo.
They definitely tour in a Volvo.
Definitely.
Probably an old one.
100%, yeah. But, yeah.
Big old 960 wagon or something.
But yeah, the album
Diesel
was
boy.
released January 11th of this year. It's called With the Pantheons Blind. It's an EP. Definitely recommend it.
Nice.
Highly.
What do you got, Connor?
I actually just caught PJ Harvey's track from last year, The Crowded Cell.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it was nice to check in with good old Polly Jean Harvey again.
Yeah.
What do you got, William?
Yeah, so I just recently saw, so I got movie news, obviously.
Yeah.
Or a movie, I saw the movie Glass. It's a continuation from Unbreakable.
Oh, yeah.
And Split. It was like
yeah.
a crossover episode, kind of like this is crossover film. It was actually really good, very interesting. I'm a huge fan
I
of
wanted
M. Night
to see
Shyamalan
Glass.
films.
I
He
think
does
Eric
a great.
said he really likes Unbreakable.
Yeah,
Unbreakable
they were
was
They
good.
were all really
Yeah.
good films, all 3 of them. It's definitely a twist in the end of this new film that you'll really enjoy.
Well, it's
Yeah.
funny, too, because I remember when Split came out, in the very last scene with Bruce Willis at the end of Split,
Right.
where he's watching the
Yep.
news of it from the diner,
Absolutely,
and
yeah.
a lot of people didn't realize this was a continuation of
Absolutely.
Unbreakable. So it
Is
was
Bruce Willis in Unbreakable?
Yeah.
Yes.
He is Unbreakable.
It's him. Yeah, it's him
sure.
and
Samuel L. Jackson.
Yeah, Samuel L. Jackson.
Yep.
Which they all reprise their roles in this film.
Yes.
Yeah.
You'll see at the end when you watch it. But M. Night Shyamalan. I don't know if you ever know, a little known fact, that he has a cameo in every one of his films.
M. Night Shyamalan.
Yeah, he has a
Yeah.
little part in every one
Yeah.
of his films where he acts.
Yeah.
there.
Almost like Stan Lee.
Did you
Yep,
also
right.
know that M. Night
Exactly
Shyamalan
like
is
Stan Lee.
also a Pennsylvania...
Pennsylvania native.
Yeah, Pennsylvania.
Wait,
he
was
is.
Stanley and Howard the Duck?
Stanley.
Yeah.
I don't know.
We'll have
Did he
to
have a
double check
part
on
in
that.
Howard the Duck? Did
I
he
don't
make
know.
the
I can't
comic?
watch that movie anymore. I have PTSD from that movie.
Why?
We'll talk about it after the show.
Yeah,
Okay.
please.
I
I don't know if he was in it or not, but Howard the Duck's part of the Marvel
feel like he
Universe.
probably
Yeah.
wasn't.
You don't think so?
Nah.
It
I
might
feel
have been
like there's
before
like
the
one
whole
or two
cameo
movies
thing.
that he wasn't in, and that's probably, if there is movies that he wasn't in, then that would be one of them.
Yeah, Howard the Duck does make a cameo in Avengers Infinity War, though.
And in
Yes.
the Galaxy Guardians of the Galaxy, right?
Yeah,
Mhm.
he's at the Collector's.
Mhm.
That's what he is, right? The Collector.
I love Howard the Duck. But anyway, what's your new music, Bill?
As I Lay Dying put out their new album Shaped by Fire a few months ago, and I had a chance to actually sit down and listen to the whole thing. And not that I agree with everything that band stands for, especially with their vocalist, but I do like their song Blinded that they put out. I know before I mentioned My Own Grave, and I really like that song, and this is probably right up there with it. I mean, I don't think probably none of you guys are going to be into it, but it is a pretty good listen, and Shaped by Fire is a really good album.
Would you add it's a core of the core genre?
Well, that's the thing with As I Lay Dying. They are a metalcore band. They classify themselves as metalcore.
Yeah. So I'm saying like when I told you like An Ocean Between Us, like there's a couple good songs on there that I can actually tell, like Within Destruction,
Yeah.
and The Sound of Truth or whatever. So
They're-
this is more of like the core of their sound.
Yeah, it's like
Like would this be popular in our high school circa 2008?
probably.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Makes
no, actually then again, no, this has way too much song structure for our high school to like it.
Yeah.
It took way too much musicianship to make that song for our high school to actually like it.
if someone was listening to this, would they have like the black slicked hair across their one eye with the colorful shirt
No.
and the snake bite piercings?
No, they'd probably be the ones walking around in
90% of our
flannels.
population. Oh, interesting.
I don't know about that.
Yeah, I don't know about that either.
Flannel kids still pretty much prefer grunge,
Yeah,
the ultimate flannel genre.
the ultimate flannel genre.
On this day in music history,
1964. Long before George Harrison's success with the smash single Ding Dong Ding Dong, the Beatles, his band before he rose as a solo artist, their first album was released, Meet the Beatles.
Wow.
Kurt Cobain, a fan of off-kilter music and underground works, I heard wrote the song about a girl after listening to the album on repeat for a day.
This I also heard.
That's crazy.
Must be true.
Must be true.
Ding dong, ding dong, motherfuckers.
Yeah.
1973, Jerry Lee Lewis makes his first appearance at the Grand Ole Opry, telling the crowd at the end of his set, "Let me tell you something about Jerry Lee Lewis, ladies and gentlemen. I am in rock and rollin', country and western rhyming, blues singing motherfucker." That was a hard sentence to read. He's a distinctive
Yeah, he was
talker.
throwing tongue twisters.
I
out there.
think what he meant
Yeah.
to say was, "I'm a rockin' and rollin' country western rhythm and blues singing cousin fucking motherfucker."
I don't
Yeah.
know, man. I fuck with Jerry Lee Lewis.
Yeah, I like Jerry Lee Lewis
Yeah,
too.
man. That was like a
It's
different
fun
time
to
back then.
watch perform.
Yeah.
Playing fucking piano with the feet.
Yeah.
He's like the Jimi Hendrix of piano.
Pretty much. He kind of like paved the way for like piano driven type music. Like you think of like Elton John, he definitely drew influence from Jerry Lee Lewis.
Yeah.
There's
Oh,
no
yeah,
question about
no
it.
question, yeah.
Yeah.
Especially on the showman factor.
Oh yeah, Freddie Mercury too.
Yeah.
Really?
Paul Rogers, Bad Company.
Nah, I'm not a big Paul Rogers fan.
Really?
Nah.
You don't like Bad Company? You don't like Free?
Nope.
Wow. Okay, moving on.
All right now, baby.
Unbelievable.
Believable. 1982. While performing at the Veterans Memorial Auditorium in Des Moines, Iowa, Ozzy Osbourne bites the head off of a real bat.
Now I heard that he did not mean to bite the head off a real bat.
He thought it was fake.
Yeah, he thought it was
Yeah, he
fake.
thought it was a prop. This is what I heard as well.
And someone threw a real ass bat on stage, and like afterwards, he like had to get rabies shots and all kinds of shit.
Yeah, I heard the same exact.
Because they're
thing.
like, "Yo, you crazy bastard! You understand that was a real bat, right?"
It's funny too because that became like the trademark of like people that didn't grow up in that time that still got
Yeah.
into Ozzy like later on. Like, dude, he bit the head off a bat.
Yeah, you ask
Burns of
anybody about
Darkness,
Ozzy,
you know?
it's not like culture to music.
That's literally
That's what they do.
That comes to mind. Yeah. Unless you're a fan of Ozzy Osbourne in 2020 and be like, isn't that guy that did that song with Post Malone?
Yeah, exactly. He got his big
Well,
break.
and Eminem did that same sample basically like
What?
on Recovery.
Which
10
one?
years ago. Changes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
true.
And it's just like,
It is funny to think about that. Like, well, like he got his big break. People are like, God bless Post Malone for
Exactly,
giving
yeah.
this weird
Or like with
British
Kanye
man
West
an
and Paul
opportunity.
McCartney.
Yeah,
dude.
right?
Little do these people know
Like,
is that
who's Paul
Ozzy Osbourne
McCartney?
has
He got his
had
big
more
break.
than
I
an
know,
illustrious
dude.
career before Post Malone.
God.
Exactly.
And long after Post Malone's gone,
Post
Ozzy
Malone went to the
Osbourne will still be
retirement
a
home
fucking
and found this
household name.
weird British man to sing on a song. What a hero.
I'm just mad about Ozzy right now, though, because I recently saw a screaming deal on Essential Ozzy Osbourne,
Uh-huh.
and it was like almost a 20-song track list, no Hellraiser.
Really?
Yeah, I was like, this is
Well-
some serious bullshit. I
Well, you
can't
think
buy
about the
CD.
album No More Tears and what songs were on that. They didn't release Hellraiser as a single, but I also think that was due to the fact that
Grand Theft Auto
Motorhead.
fucking San Andreas.
Yeah.
that shit
Well, I
turned
think-
into fucking legend
Hell yeah.
status.
Well, I think the reason being though is because Motorhead released Hellraiser also as a single.
same song.
Yes,
I'll
but
check
Lemmy
that
singing
out.
it. Yeah, it was on the soundtrack for it was on the
Airheads, right?
Airheads, yes.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. It's in the intro.
If you look
yeah.
at the liner notes for No More
Was it
Tears,
in any of the Hellraiser movies?
no,
Either of
or
these?
no,
Oh.
maybe it was on Hellraiser 3.
I think
Hell
it-
on Earth.
Oh, Hell on Earth.
Yes.
I think it was.
I only saw
Um,
the first one.
Yeah, if you look
Best
at the
one.
liner notes for No More Tears, Lemmy is cited on like almost every song, like as a songwriter. He helped write No More Tears. I mean, Mom, I'm Coming Home.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so I think that's why Ozzy didn't release that as a single. Me personally,
Did he
I
play
agree
on
with
it?
you.
Did he play on it?
No,
No, not
But-
at all.
but I'm there
No-
with you.
no
I do think
appearances?
no.
Wow.
I do think Hellraiser is probably one of the stronger songs on that album. 100%.
Of his career.
I wouldn't go as far as career,
It's
but
top 20.
yeah, definitely top 20. It deserves to be on the Essential. There's probably
Yeah.
a few songs on there that didn't need to be on it.
Yeah. 1983. Kenny Loggins enters the danger zone when he falls off the stage while making his entrance at a concert in Provo, Utah.
So you're telling me he wasn't all right, and for people to worry about him. I fell off the fucking stage.
Somebody get me something.
Give me some ice.
The house lights are dimmed, so the crowd doesn't see it. The audience is stunned to learn that Loggins is being taken to the hospital where he's treated for broken ribs. Show is rescheduled, and while recovering, Loggins writes the song Footloose with Dean Pitchford providing the title track for the movie.
I think that might have been his biggest song was Footloose,
Oh,
right?
Yeah. It's definitely his most enduring.
Definitely.
No
Probably
one
more
even
than
know-
Danger
people
Zone?
People don't know.
Yeah.
The only people that know Danger Zone nowadays that weren't around back then are people that watch Archer.
Yeah.
Not true.
Top Gun.
Top Gun.
True.
Top Gun as well.
That's the soundtrack. It's
Yeah,
from, right?
Archer's
Yeah.
definitely keeping it alive.
Danger
but,
Zone.
Yeah.
That show's fucking awesome.
Yeah, I never saw Top Gun.
You never saw Top Gun?
I've never seen Top Gun either.
Nope.
I'm not gonna lie, I've never seen it either.
I've seen Top Gun.
Okay,
I know the
thank
quotes
God.
and
Actually,
stuff.
the new one's
Jesus
coming out this year.
Yeah,
it is.
it's based on Maverick, right?
Yeah, Maverick,
Yeah. I was just talking about that with my dad, actually. Yeah.
1986. After years of campaigning to make MLK's birthday a federal holiday, Stevie Wonder commemorates the occasion with a star-studded concert celebration in Washington, D.C.
That shows
Uh-huh.
you how much of a motherfucker you are if Stevie Wonder's doing some shit for you.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Yeah. Not the 1997, the year 1997. French electronic duo Daft Punk released their debut album Homework in the UK. It is released in America on March 25th. The record is a big hit in Europe, but only reaches 150 in the USA.
It's so crazy to think that Daft Punk has been around that long.
Yeah, because especially
Yeah, I
when they
didn't
did
realize
that,
that.
that
they've been going
Pharrell
for a
song.
while.
Yeah.
Was the
They
name of the
broke out
song?
in like 01 or something.
Well, that song, the song they're most
Pharrell.
known for,
More time.
Yeah, that was from the early 2000s or
Yeah.
the late 90s.
Yeah.
That song's old.
What was the
Yeah.
one that they did not too long ago with Pharrell that like blew up?
I know
Get
what song
Lucky.
you're talking
Get
about.
Lucky.
Get Lucky.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's when it like
Yeah, that was
Yeah,
huge,
and people
yeah.
didn't even realize Daft Punk has been around as long as they have.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Well, they had Nile Rodgers on that from the disco era, like the disco guru. on
Oh,
guitar.
shit.
Yeah,
that's
he
him
was
playing
from
guitar.
wasn't he Parliament?
I can't
Parliament
remember.
of Funk, I think.
I can't remember.
Yeah, I forget.
I just know he was like huge in the disco era because I saw something on Daft Punk at some point, and it was like around when that album came out. But anyway, 1998, with the release of their debut single "I Want You Back," NSYNC emerges as a rival to Backstreet Boys, who are taking America by storm.
Going back to the Backstreet Boys thing where we were talking about it, what was it, 2 weeks ago? Where we were talking about if Lou Pearlman had his own documentary.
Yeah.
There is one. It's on YouTube for free. It's a YouTube original movie. You can watch it for free.
YouTube like commissioned it.
Yes.
Oh wow!
And it's free.
Did not know they did that stuff.
Yeah, it's called something the Lou Pearlman story.
So it's like about how he became as
Yes.
wealthy as he was, and then
And how he fucked everybody
You
up.
guys like
Okay.
Lou Pearlman?
What? Great guy.
Yeah, him and TC.
They probably know each other.
They
honestly.
definitely do.
Illuminati.
2006, the TV movie High School Musical premieres on the Disney Channel, creating a teen tween sensation and the biggest album of 2006.
The only thing I can say about that is it made for a good South Park episode.
Oh my god.
Yeah,
Do you remember?
that
Yeah, you remember
episode's
the
fucking
episode?
great.
Yeah,
I
where the
love
new
it.
kid moves to school.
Yep.
Slap it, slap it, slap it.
Slap
yeah.
the shit out of
They
you.
finally start
Yeah.
dancing at the end, and everybody's like, "We don't do that anymore."
Yeah. As soon as they give in.
I'm grateful that that movie came just after the time when I would have been watching movies like that. Because that one looked real shitty.
Dude,
I still haven't watched any of them yet.
my
Neither
wife
have
loves
I.
them.
Does she?
She's got them all on DVD. Actually, as a matter of fact, here's a Zac Efron pen from high school.
Oh wow.
Jesus Christ.
Jesus.
For all of you
It's
who
called
can't
Obsession.
actually see what we just saw,
Yeah.
Bill literally has a Zac.
No. Hold on. Hold the fucking
No.
pen. It ain't Bill has. It's Bill's wife has, and she put it in Bill's pen cup.
So instead of
I don't
Bill
believe
taking,
that.
yeah, I don't,
That's
I
not your
don't,
cup over there.
That
There's a
sounds like
Minnie
a
Mouse
cover-up.
pen.
yeah, I don't see Nicole coming down here too often.
To
The
just
fact-
leave her pens
Yeah, to
behind.
leave her pens behind.
Yeah.
But it's definitely, and he's like
Hey, I don't
staring
use
at
this
me now. The
anymore.
way
Let me
you
give this
placed
to
them
you.
back in that pen holder, like you knew exactly where it was.
Yeah, 'cause
he
he
actually
uses
pulled
every
it
time
out
we're
of the.
not here.
Yeah, he didn't even look when he.
Why do you
grabbed
think
it.
he's got those?
There's
that
actually a
wrench?
second one too.
He's got that
Wow,
wrench
two
attached to it too.
Zac Efron pens.
Collection.
High School Musical era Zac
Those
Efron.
are probably worth money.
Yeah.
My
Probably
wife's a
worth-
giant
For
fan.
all you
Maybe.
listeners
Probably
out
worth
there,
a
if you're in
solid
the
15
market for
on
a good
eBay.
Zac Efron pen, you can definitely email us. I'm
Contact
sure
us.
Bill maybe separate himself from this pen. I don't know how attached he actually is. But you can find out and have a bidding war for Bill's pens.
From the
Today in the archives, January 22nd, 2020. Our birthdays we have today is first Guy Fieri, turning 52 years old. He's not a movie star, but you guys, I'm sure you've seen him on the show Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives.
yes,
You know, there's actually a few restaurants I think we've been to try
yeah,
his
have
food.
been on there. Yeah,
It's definitely a lot of good food places he goes to. Also, we have Steve Perry, turning 71, singer from Journey.
yeah. I'm forever yours, faithfully. Don't stop believing. Hold on to that feeling.
Anywho, moving along to movies, we have 2010, The Tooth Fairy, starring The Rock.
Possibly one of his best roles. To
Really?
date.
I've actually never seen the film.
You never
You know,
did?
I probably should watch it sometime.
Nah, I'm just kidding. I don't think it's one of his best
Oh,
roles.
okay. I was going to say, because
it's
I've
not
never
a
seen
bad
it to
movie.
know, you know?
It's not bad.
Because, I mean, I like The Rock as a movie actor, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
I've always loved him in the WWE, you know? But, you know, when you
Mhm.
see him as the movie, it's kind of cool, you know? And then we have our deaths in 2008, I should say. At 28 years old, we lost the great Heath Ledger. Amazing Joker role. He really,
Yeah, he was
how
definitely
he portrayed the Joker,
definitely one of the best.
he took it like into a different level of portraying the Joker.
Definitely better than that fucking shit show fucking Jared Leto one.
Yeah,
Joke.
right.
I think that's the point, but
I haven't seen the new one.
what? The one with Joaquin Phoenix?
Yeah, I haven't seen that one yet.
I've
It's
heard
supposed
that
to-
it was
I
incredible.
heard it's been really good. They're supposed to
I
be coming out
heard
with the second one, I believe.
Absolutely incredible.
But, you know, I'm kind of curious to see how it was, you know, how it plays out. The fact that they took the Joker from just being this part of the Batman series into the fact you made him his own role,
yeah, to give it, like
know,
he's
give him
his
a story.
own thing.
you know, his story. I mean, like I said, I haven't seen it, so maybe it tells you how he became the Joker. I really don't
Oh
know.
yeah, absolutely.
I don't- okay.
I didn't see it, but I know enough about it to be able to
Right.
that's what it is.
Nice. I'll have,
That's
I'll have
awesome.
to check that out sometime. So that was your archives for January 22nd, 2020.
Perfect.
Music news.
Today in music news, January 20th, 2020. Bonnaroo announcing the first woman headliner in 18 years sparks discussion. Earlier today, Bonnaroo Music and Arts Festival announced its stacked lineup, scene favorites. Wait, what? Scene favorites, the 1975 Oliver Tree Wallows Dashboard Confessionals, The Regrets, and more will join headliners Tool, Lizzo, and Tame the Impala this
How you guys
June.
feel about Lizzo?
I listened to her for the first time.
I like
It's
the one song.
Yeah, the one song isn't bad.
Minnesota Vikings.
Yeah.
That's my shit.
It's not horrible. I mean, I've definitely heard worse.
It's like perfect music for the perfect time.
Yeah.
Like it's definitely
I feel like she has like a funk feel, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I feel that.
But it's like the one thing
Bouncy
too.
or
A
something.
lot
Yeah,
of it
yeah.
comes from like the body image thing because she's not your typical like female artist like strutting up there like Katy Perry or anybody like that. I mean, so obviously, yeah. I don't know if so much of it goes around with liking the music as opposed to the individual because she's one of those like I can feel like the authenticity from her. Like that's the one thing about the music that
Yeah.
I can kind of appreciate. That's
Yeah.
why it's like. But again, it's not my brand of music, but I can totally appreciate like what she's doing.
Yeah.
In the long shoot, but yeah, to be standing up there as a headliner next to Tool,
Yeah.
pretty fucking weird and cool.
Yeah, it is pretty cool.
Cool with Tool.
Festivals.
Yeah, dude. Bonnaroo.
The last thing we have here in music news is something that is near and dear to your heart, Connor, and it's not ding dong ding dong.
It's a shame.
Yeah, I don't know how I felt about this concert because it seems like they're getting a lot more casual with
The
the
appearances.
doling out, Nirvana appearances with other people.
What
instead
is
of
being
Kurt
talked
Cobain.
about now is Nirvana members reunite to rock charity gala with Beck and St. Vincent. The surviving members of Nirvana reunited in Los Angeles for a show with Beck, St. Vincent, and more. At the show, current Foo Fighters singer and guitarist Dave Grohl joined former Nirvana bandmates Chris Novoselic and Pat Smear for an epic set. The full set list is Lithium, featuring Beck and St. Vincent, and Bloom, featuring Beck and St. Vincent, Been a Sun, featuring Beck and St. Vincent, Heart-Shaped Box, featuring Beck, Violet Grohl, and St. Vincent, and Man Who Sold the World, featuring Beck and St. Vincent. Did you watch any of the videos from this? Did you hear it?
Yeah, I saw Violet Grohl doing Heart-Shaped Box.
Yo, fucking
and
Beck fucked up the words to In Bloom. Like, he completely forgot the whole first verse.
He fucked up a little bit of guitar on Heart-Shaped Box too.
Did he?
Yeah.
Like, he started off the song with the fucking, like, the second part of the first verse, and he sang it twice. Like, he's like, spring is here again. Reproductive plans. And then he did it again. Spring is here again.
So
But he
just-
wasn't good.
I want to ask before we go into the main topic, though, because specifically Connor, because this would be like the equivalent if it was a band that was like near and dear to my heart.
Mhm.
How do you feel about like when they do stuff like this?
The Rock and Roll Hall of Fame was one thing.
The one with like Joan
Yeah,
Jett
that was
and-
different.
Yeah, because that was the only time they ever really did it. And oh no, they did the concert for Sandy too. I forget if that was before. That was 2012.
Yeah, that was before.
So they did that. Well, they did the Paul McCartney thing. That was the Sandy concert.
Yeah.
Cut Me Some Slack, and the Sound City Players, and I don't know. They called it Dave Grohl and Friends.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, that's what the hell? Like, that's pretty.
But they were
cringy.
playing Nirvana tunes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and it's
yeah,
called.
super cringy.
They were billed as Dave Grohl and Friends,
Super.
and then he brought out his daughter, and it's like,
Like-
eh,
Like you're
you-
saying, I
you
can
were
get the
there
Rock and Roll
least
Hall of
amount
Fame.
time, Dave Grohl.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
just because you got super famous after, like,
Yeah.
Well, because it's
Yeah.
like when we talk about like the hologram shows and the reunited tours, and it's just like Nirvana's one of those bands where Kurt Cobain was literally the band. I mean, like people like remember Kurt over
Yeah.
everything when it
Yeah,
comes
exactly.
to Nirvana. Like there's not a lot of bands out there where you can say if you took out a member, you could easily replace them. Like there's been a lot of bands that go out there and tour with a new guitarist, with a new bassist, with a new drummer, or even sometimes with a new frontman.
it's like the
where-
Jimi Hendrix experience
Without
going
Jimi
on tour
Hendrix.
Without Jimi Hendrix.
That's what I'm
Exactly.
saying. So
Yeah.
like, I
Like
mean,
if Dave Grohl were to die, like in an alternate reality, Dave Grohl died and not Kurt Cobain. Do you
Yeah.
think anybody would be like, "Oh my God, Dave Grohl"?
yeah, you could have stuck Matt Cameron in there and just
Oh
kept
yeah,
it pushing.
that would have been kind of cool.
It would have been cool.
Pretty much
Well, they
saying
could have
it'd be
taken
cool.
one of Pearl Jam's 10 drummers.
Yeah,
Yeah.
any one of them. Yeah,
Although I don't think they would have.
yeah.
No,
No.
But either way, I mean, I don't know. I think it's kind of gets upsetting when you see a band just kind of like sell off the name without the idea of it, like because what
Well,
are you really getting?
It's for charity, but it's
That's-
they're just like it still serves promotional purposes for stuff that those surviving members of Nirvana make money off of.
Of course.
It's just another way for Dave Grohl to
Keep his
Keep
cool
his
rock
wealth.
star guy rolling.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely. As we mentioned here, we are in a crossover section, as you heard a lot of the typical Rage Against the Mainstream topics today. However, mixing it up a little bit. What's the perfect way to talk about movies and music simultaneously? What's the perfect way?
Soundtracks?
Soundtracks, right? So I think to make this as simple enough, we can go around, we can discuss some of our favorite films with good soundtracks. And it doesn't even necessarily, because like you obviously have soundtracks where they release a CD and there's a lot of songs on there that weren't really in the film itself or had small bits in the film. So really it can be just movies where there was a certain song in there that was impactful, or even just the album that was released to coincide with the movie release of ones you appreciate. So I think, we should start with Connor.
All right. I'll do Gross Point Blank with John Cusack. A lot of good stuff on that soundtrack. High Fidelity.
I think every Cusack film.
Yeah,
dude.
Yeah, he's got good taste in music, and he's probably just not gonna let it slide. If the soundtrack is so great.
Which movie is it in like the very beginning where he's sitting there and he has like the Joy Division shirt on? Is that no? I'm thinking of something else. Never mind. Carry on. I didn't say anything.
Do the Right Thing. Spike Lee.
Yeah.
Pulp Fiction, obviously.
Pulp Fiction. Quentin Tarantino's another one of those.
Yeah. Kill Bill was pretty good too.
Oh yeah.
Soundtrack Reservoir Dogs. Yeah, I'll stick with High Fidelity and Gross Point Blank as like my top.
Yeah.
Nice.
Definitely.
Now, how do you feel like those soundtracks either influenced the movie or like made certain things better in it?
Oh, Dazed and Confused too. Whatchamacallit? Well, it sets tones. That's all. Sets tones. A lot of times sometimes they have, the sound like songs for scenes in mind, but a lot of time that stuff's not hammered out until later.
Yeah. That's kind of where
they switch songs all the time, like Donnie Darko.
Yeah.
With Never Tear Us Apart and Echo and the Bunnymen.
It became what? It was Killing Moon to start in the original film. It was supposed to be
Killing Moon.
Yeah.
And then
they changed it for the reissue.
To Never Tear Us Apart.
Yeah.
And then actually no, I think he wanted Never Tear Us Apart.
Which is kind of annoying because I think that intro scene with the Killing Moon was like, that's actually what got me into Echo and the Bunnymen.
Yeah, that's what got me into Echo and the Bunnymen. And I didn't feel like Never Tear Us Apart really made that much sense anyway.
It didn't hit
opening.
that. Yeah,
like there's a lot of shit in Donnie Darko that doesn't really make sense.
Of course.
It's a good entertaining movie.
Yeah.
But there's holes.
Yeah.
It's a vibe movie.
It's still a quality film.
Yeah.
Yeah, I enjoy it a lot.
Yeah.
I'll even
like
take that
movie.
soundtrack.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Joy Division, Echo and the Bunnymen.
Yeah.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Some solid tracks in there.
So I'm Will. Hey guys.
Oh Will, welcome back, bud.
Sorry, I've been sitting here quietly for a while while you guys went through your news and stuff like that. So for the soundtracks I looked up was I think my favorite would be the film The Greatest Showman. The film track, the soundtrack that went along with that. I mean, a lot of the songs were sung by Zac Efron, Zendana, Hugh Jackman. Like a lot of their just straight up,
from
I was gonna say, for some
from the actors
motherfuckers
in the
talking
films.
shit about fucking High School Musical, you sure picked the Zac Efron fucking soundtrack, didn't
Listen,
you, bitch?
it's not my fault that he just coincidentally happens to be in the film.
Oh yeah,
The film was amazing, but he just happened to be there. Just stop. I could have said High School Musical like you did. What'd you do? Pick the 1, 2, and 3 soundtracks for yours? Because we don't need to get to you actually, do we? 'Cause that's what your choices are.
Bill already tried.
Anywho,
Listen,
and
this
then
is
some.
Ghostbusters.
I'm still talking. So honorable mentions I'd like to bring up, just because of the fact that I do have a son. I watch a lot of kids movies. For Tarzan and the other movie Brother Bear, Phil Collins does an amazing job
Yeah, he's
with
a
the
good soundtrack
soundtracks that he
artist.
writes for these films, and it really does bring the films together. And like Connor had mentioned. Like The Greatest Showman, when I mentioned that film, like the songs just really play along with the film, and it just really makes you feel like you're there almost. Like it's just great.
Yeah, I agree. What do you got, Steve?
So I'm actually not going to pick a specific film, but a director
Ooh.
because nearly
that's
every
whack.
film. But I'm going to pick a specific film, but I'm going to narrow in first. The director is Martin Scorsese.
Okay.
Almost every film, if you just listen to this like list of
Goodfellas?
films, Mean Streets, Taxi Driver, Raging Bull, Color of Money, Goodfellas, Cape Fear, Casino, Gangs of New
Yeah,
York.
Give Me Shelter and Casino.
Yeah.
Some fire.
All right, so
Yeah.
obviously I'm picking Goodfellas. Now here's the thing. I remember Goodfellas, like especially when Layla was playing,
Yep.
when they're finding all the bodies. But the one scene where like it really always hits me of how good it is when Sunshine of My Love is playing by Cream. And it,
Sunshine of Your Love.
Yeah.
it is My Love, is it not?
I mean, I guess in theory.
Sunshine of Your Love
Uh,
by Cream is playing, and Robert De Niro is like sitting at the bar and he's just smoking a cigarette, and they just do this pan scene where it's just him literally at the bar, and you're just hearing that intro like do 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 do.
Oh,
do,
yeah,
do.
yeah,
And he's
yeah.
just sitting there like has that suspicious look on his face, and he's just looking around the bar while he's just smoking a cigarette. And like those two scenes of that movie, when you talk about movies that like how does like music kind of affect it, it's always like especially with like Connor, like with the John Cusack films, it almost gives you like a more like relatable feeling to the movie. Like Martin Scorsese, even Casino, like you mentioned, Gimme Shelter, that's almost used in like every film, like The Departed with Leonardo DiCaprio. It's used in that as well.
Really?
Yeah, it's used in that film
Huh.
as well. And-
Derivative of himself.
oh yeah, like and that, but it's funny because that song again, like kind of put me in like when you're younger and you're just watching movies, you don't really have much like musical insight, and you hear a song, you're like, oh, I want to listen to that. I want to hear that. So yeah, Martin Scorsese, all his films. The other one, real quick, is like Wayne's World. Wayne's
Yeah,
World
yeah,
had
that's a
an
good one.
excellent fucking soundtrack, dude. Like
Excellent.
there's so many good, and like even like their own songs, like the Wayne's World intro and everything.
Wayne's World.
Yeah, dude. Like in that time, a movie as well coming out in the '90s, it was just another one of those movies that like as a kid, and you don't really know too much, and you're not really listening to anything other than what the fucking
We're gonna
parents are
get
listening
Pearl
to.
Jam.
Dude. But yeah, those two movies, especially Goodfellas, Wayne's World, both 1 and 2. But really, any Scorsese flick has awesome soundtracks.
I agree.
Yeah, man.
I agree. He definitely knows how to put together a movie.
Fuck yeah.
And
Fuck yeah.
Clerks too. Actually, I
Fuck
forgot about
yeah,
Clerks.
dude.
Oh, dude, yeah.
First Clerks
Yeah.
soundtrack. is
you don't
tight as
listen
hell.
to Basement Box Office,
Even
right?
Jay and Silent Bob Strikes Back has a pretty decent soundtrack.
Well, you say any Kevin
Yeah.
Smith film.
Yeah, that's
Almost
true.
every Kevin Smith film, if you
Yeah,
think about
Clerks
it.
2 has a pretty good
Mallrats.
soundtrack. I forget what songs are even in Mallrats.
There's like a lot. I like how
Suzanne by Weezer is at
Yeah.
the end. I remember that.
I like how fucking Got Me Wrong starts off Clerks.
Yeah, with
Yeah.
No, it doesn't start off Clerks. But
That's when they
it's
introduce Randall,
in the
yeah.
intro, yeah.
Okay,
Randall's a dickhead in
Yeah.
real life. He's the reason he like has held up all the Clerks projects.
Which is weird
Really?
because he did Zack and Miri.
well, it's what's weird. Well, he doesn't like being Randall. But he's like that same
Oh.
fucking dickhead in real life. That's just like a fucking drag on his friend.
Damn.
you don't watch Basement Box or listen to Basement Box Office, but in a recent episode, we do our snack bar facts where it's just like obscure movie knowledge. Did you know that the original ending of Clerks was Dante being killed outside the store?
That would have
What?
honestly been better.
Yeah, that was the original ending.
Yeah, dude.
Because it was supposed to be like a satire, like he wasn't even supposed to be there anyway.
Oh, and that
and he
would
fucking got killed when he
The
That
whole
closed
was
the
a
movie is
recurring
supposed to be.
theme.
It's supposed to be like a weird, like indie slacker remake of Dante's Inferno. It's like the Seven Rings of Hell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How it constantly gets worse.
That's why his name's Dante.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
But yeah, the original ending in the original script was
Do you know how he was killed? Does it
shot and killed.
tell? By what, like a bomb?
By who?
yeah,
Yeah.
just
Or
by
anybody-
somebody.
Okay. So
It,
no,
it
like,
didn't
particular
specify,
character?
but
Mm.
like it was supposed to, like he closes the store, he's going to his car, boom, shot and killed. That was supposed to be the end of the movie.
Damn.
That
That
would've been crazy.
That would have been awesome. What was the guy's name who sung that song? Remember, he's outside with Jay.
Berserker.
Berserker. What if it would be funny if it was like
Jay's
him?
Russian
Yeah,
cousin.
the Russian cousin. Yeah. I want to fuck you, Berserker. Yeah, it would have been funny if it was just him because that's the only time you ever see his character, really.
Yeah,
I
but
like to make fuck.
Yeah.
but doesn't Jay wear a Berserker shirt in Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back?
Well, Berserker was like a comic book character. I forget.
Well, no,
what
it's
they're
a
from.
shirt with him and it says Berserker
I think
underneath
so.
in pink lettering.
Yeah.
It was probably their friend up there or something. And
Did
anybody
see
they
the new
thought he was
movie?
Great.
No, I heard it was good though.
Yeah,
What
I heard it
movie?
was good too.
Jay and Silent Bob reboot.
Nah, I didn't see the new one.
I actually
it was
heard it was
only in
good.
theaters for like a fucking day or something.
Well, yeah, because they did a tour. They did a movie tour because they knew it wouldn't perform in the box office, so they would rent out a theater for a day and like just.
So
go
it was
around
kind of
different
like what they
theaters.
did with Three from Hell.
It could have
Yeah.
performed
Or
at the
quick.
box office if it got a little bit of promotion.
Yeah, but you have to
Like,
think like
Yeah.
that fan base is not like a generating crowd where it's like someone going to see Star Wars.
Yeah,
or
that's
kids,
true.
families.
Yeah.
You know, like that would get a huge hit probably the first couple weeks of people being able to see it. But it's such a more of a cult following.
Well,
than
yeah,
all
and there's a
those
lot of
films.
people who liked those movies back then who probably
don't even
don't care
Yeah.
about James
So then
Bond
when you go to
Bob
see
anymore.
it, you're kind of seeing it as something fresh, and you're not really understanding like all the hype behind it, and you're just kind of like may not enjoy it the same way.
Yeah.
Especially seeing Kevin Smith the way he looks now, it's like totally different.
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
know
he's
what I mean?
like pretending to be like as big as he was
Yeah.
when he was young.
Mhm.
Like,
That's
it's
what I'm
funny.
curious. I wonder if he is trying to look like.
Oh no,
Fast
he
in
had
the
a heart
movie.
attack. He
Yeah.
almost died. Like
Yeah,
No, but I'm
that's
saying
it.
I wonder if
Widowmaker,
he's
like,
trying
had to
in the
lose
movie
weight.
though. I wonder in the movie because I haven't seen any pictures or anything if he actually looks fat in the movie. I wonder if he like tried or like is there
That's
a
how he wasn't-
backstory?
even in like Clerks 2, like he was starting to lose weight.
Yeah,
Well,
but I wonder
they
if there's like a
said-
backstory in the movie if he's like just walking around
Oh.
thin. If like Jay is actually like Lunchbox, how'd you lose all the fucking weight? You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
I'm curious if his like character
Will you
has a
ever just Shut
story.
your fucking mouth.
He finally has that snap moment where he says the most insightful shit.
All right, going back to performing at the box office.
Yes.
I have two movies with two soundtracks that are undeniable.
Mm-hmm.
First one being 1984's Ghostbusters.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's be real for a second. The Ghostbusters song released before the movie and went platinum before the movie ever even came out.
Yeah.
Like that, I'm going about it in a different way. Like I'm talking about how the soundtrack is going to influence how the movie does
Of course.
or how it's perceived. Like
Well,
that
that's
song, dude. Like that blew that fucking movie.
It's
up.
funny you mentioned that because I
Like
have
overnight.
a 3-year-old nephew. He's 3 years old. The year is 2020. That movie was released what?
84
84.
July.
This kid is like I remember we were sitting there
36-year-old film.
and
Yeah.
I forget what we were doing. My dad said to somebody like, "Who are you going to call?" But said it very like blandly, and he shouted like "Ghostbusters!" like, and it's just real. That shows you like how much of a like impact like certain soundtracks and certain like songs built for a movie essentially can like really be like long lasting. Because not only is the film excellent, but that song itself. I mean, like a 3-year-old in the year 2020, like knowing that song immediately. I mean, it's just it's undeniable.
timeless.
Yeah, and it's cool too when we watched Hired Gun and we got to see how that song was created.
Yeah.
Just kind of like, guy just got a job and wrote it and it just became fucking.
I mean, and also too, like the other songs on that soundtrack, like they're also really good. Like Cleaning Up the Town, like
Yeah.
that was like perfect in that scene in the beginning of the movie, like when
Yeah.
they get their first call and all that other shit, and like that song Magic when all like the shit's like blowing up and the top of the firehouse comes off and all that other shit. Like it was
Do you
just
still
perfect.
have the Ghostbusters soundtrack cassette?
Yes, it's actually in one of these tubs right here with
Yeah.
all my Ghostbusters shit.
oh,
Eh,
wow. That's awesome.
Well, actually, Rage Against the Mainstream listeners don't know. I'm an insanely huge Ghostbusters fan.
It's if you had to
That's
use if you had to use the metaphor, just how much Bill loves Van Halen, all things Van Halen.
It might be a little bit more.
That's but
you like
that's
Ghostbusters better than Van Halen?
Like if you had to choose, you could all the Ghostbusters films in the world go away, or every Van Halen song disappears. You
And
can
me
only
have no
one.
recollection. Like I
No
have to
like-
live my life without knowing either.
No, you know it's gone. Like you've heard it and it's gone
You're gonna
now.
miss it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Whatever it is.
You can't listen to a single
That
Van
dude,
Halen
that's
song.
hard.
Yeah.
That's really hard.
Yeah.
I don't know.
We'll come back to your decision, but we need one by the end of this
Do
show.
I at least get the cartoons?
You get nothing Ghostbusters.
No more Ghostbusting.
Nothing. And you get nothing Van Halen and anything related. So you can't even
Oh.
listen to 55 by Sammy Hagar.
No, that came out before. he
Doesn't
was in his
matter.
time at
Anything
Van Halen.
related. Any extension. So even if there's like some Eddie Van Halen tracks out there, like exclusive, you'd lose everything of extension.
Well, then Thriller wouldn't be as successful as it was.
Well,
Yeah, no
Well-
beat it either.
we'll
Yeah,
just have to
don't
deal with
forget
it.
Damn, I don't know. We're gonna have to come back.
We'll come back
this.
to that by the end of the episode and you need an answer.
My second album is another 80s flick. I believe it came out in 84. No, 85 is Back to the Future.
Excellent.
Oh yeah.
You think of Power of Love, Back in
I have that on
Time.
vinyl actually.
Do you?
Oh, do you?
Yeah,
Oh,
picture
that's
disc.
awesome. Like even
Do
the
you have a
score.
record player?
I actually broke the power cord.
Can I have the record?
Back to the Future.
Oh, yeah. I'll
No.
buy it from you.
What?
No,
We'll talk after the show.
it was a gift.
Fuck. All right.
But yeah, I mean, like the regular songs off the album, and like even ZZ Top did a song too. on Back to the Future Part 3. Actually, yeah. I'm sticking to the first movie.
Yeah.
But Power of Love and Back in Time, like Huey Lewis and the News, like that, they're just undeniable songs.
Absolutely.
Like until the end of time, everyone's gonna know the dun, 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 dun,
Mhm.
dun, dun. Yeah, it's just like perfect.
Yeah.
Well, no, that's I Want a New Drug.
Are you talking about the Power of Love?
Yeah, I'm talking about Power of Love off of Back to the Future
Yeah,
soundtrack.
okay.
But the Ghostbusters song rips off of Huey Lewis's I Want a New Drug.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And Ray Parker Jr. got sued by Huey Lewis and the News because originally Huey Lewis and the News got approached by Columbia Pictures to write the Ghostbusters theme song, and they couldn't do it, and they wouldn't do it because they didn't want to sell out to Hollywood.
They probably literally told him we want it to sound like Huey Lewis in the News.
That's what they said. Yeah, pretty much. It's funny. It's kind of fucked up because Huey Lewis and the News refused to do a song for Ghostbusters because they didn't want to, in quotes, sell out to Hollywood. Then the next year they do fucking Back to the Future and Huey Lewis cameos in the fucking movie.
Who's he cameo? Where?
I'm sorry, fellas. I'm afraid you're just too darn loud
Oh, wow.
doing the auditions. That's Huey Lewis. Yeah.
Yeah, I was never a big Huey Lewis fan. Just the Power of Love.
I've gotten into his discography. I do like Huey Lewis.
Yeah.
I like the hits.
Yeah, I was gonna say I put him up there with like Stevie Wonder. There's like artists that I'll listen to like compilations of. I won't listen to whole albums by Huey Lewis and the News,
Or Stevie Wonder?
like full
You won't
albums.
listen to songs in the key of
There's
life?
that's the only one.
Oh.
That's the only one I'll listen to front to back.
I know Eric's a big Stevie. I've
I
brought
like
up
Stevie
Eric
Wonder.
twice this episode, but he's a big Stevie Wonder fan.
Yeah, like I said, Stevie Wonder is just it depends on the mood, but it's not like he's a active artist that I have on rotation.
All right. Well, yeah. So I guess general consensus, do we feel like the soundtrack would,
Matters.
yeah, do you think like
1,000,000,000%.
Yeah.
like do you think like actual like singles
Especially for a
off,
movie like High Fidelity.
Mm.
yeah.
It's a fucking record store.
Yeah, I was gonna say even when you mention like Days Confused, like movies like that are kind of surrounded by the atmosphere of like a rock and roll era, or even like when you watch like Boys in the Hood or like Menace to Society and having like a
Almost
hip hop
Famous.
almost famous,
I
like
was getting
any
ready to say
movie
that,
that has
Stillwater.
like
Yeah.
a tone where like music is going to influence a scene or be memorable. I mean, I can think of certain scenes and like I said, just that scene in Goodfellas. Like I just remember like that song made that scene.
You know, Stillwater was a Soundgarden line.
Was it?
It was, I forget how it goes, but it's from a song off Bad Motorfinger. But that's where the people from Almost Famous got it from. Cameron Crowe, I guess.
Oh, right, for the name of the band in the
Yeah.
movie.
I think it's in Rusty Cage.
Oh shit.
Go on down to Stillwater.
But yeah, I think soundtracks are absolutely a necessary component. I don't think it's not necessary to make the film that much better, but I think they definitely do heighten the
It's
film.
that part before he's like, ride a pack of dogs.
Oh yes, it is. Yeah,
Yeah.
now I know what you're talking about.
All right. Well,
Rest in peace, Chris Cornell, of course.
Rest in peace.
Always.
I guess that wraps up for this topic. Last week we told you guys to check out the I guess it's a series. Yeah, I guess it's considered a series on Netflix, the remastered series, Tricky Dick and the Man in Black. Pretty much with this chronicles Johnny Cash's trip to the White House and where he
Meeting
meets
with
up
Richard
with
Nixon.
Richard Nixon
Yep.
during the height of Vietnam, and pretty much where Nixon wants Johnny Cash to play two select songs that he feels will appeal to a certain group, or appeal to a certain group of Americans, and
Essentially, yeah.
basically where he basically just goes, "Fuck you, I'm Johnny Cash," and he plays whatever the fuck he wants.
Which is funny too, because Nixon was a huge Johnny Cash fan.
Yeah.
Huge.
I like the way this was. I like the way this one was done. I think this is the best remastered so far. With the interviews that were perfect, the video footage, just everything. I feel like this was a good. I feel like if I were to say like, "Yo, you got to check out this remastered shit on Netflix," this would be the one that I would send people to watch.
Yeah, and it's one of those things like Johnny Cash doesn't even necessarily need to be like a favorite artist to even watch this, just for the history aspect of it. Because like Johnny Cash, like I love Johnny Cash. I love like especially his live albums more than anything. But even so, just watching this for the historical proponent, it makes it that much more of a watch. Because again, if you're not even a huge Johnny Cash fan, you don't really like him in general, it's still a historical moment and like what was happening in the era. Plus, obviously if you are a Johnny Cash fan, it's that much better. But yeah, I enjoyed it. I definitely enjoyed it.
Nice. Well, IMDb gave this a 7.1 out of 10.
Mm-hmm.
What would you give this?
I definitely respect Johnny Cash for being like that's complete opposite of Elvis.
Yeah.
Who,
Yeah.
like basically hung out with the Beatles afterward to like check on them or whatever and
Yeah.
their like political ideology or whatever.
Yeah.
Like on the
Like Johnny
as a favor
Cash.
to
And it
Richard
said in the
Nixon.
movie that he didn't affiliate with any party.
Yeah, that was the big thing with him. I mean, because Nixon was kind of using him as like a vessel to appeal to America as like almost, a political scheme as opposed to like, hey, I like your music. It's not like he was going on Dick Clark or something like that.
Yeah.
Well, it's like Bruce Springsteen in the 80s, Born in the USA.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
you can't get these badasses to like
Compromise their beliefs, for
it's
your
not what they
fucking
do.
political
And you
agenda.
want this like uncompromisingly good real track. Well,
Yeah.
Yeah.
better keep it real then.
Yep.
So the ratings here, like I said before, IMDb gave it a 7.1 out of 10. Going around the table here, starting with Connor, what would you give this?
Honestly, 7.1 sounds about right.
Yeah?
Yeah.
What about you, Will?
Yeah, I mean, I'd say probably around there, maybe like a 6.5.
6.5?
I give it a 7.5.
Yeah?
Yeah.
And I think a 7.1. I mean,
Wow.
just to make it easy, 7.1.
Okay.
Technically, it's a 70.5.
Yeah.
But just for sake of argument, we're going to round it up to 7.1.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. Yeah, actually, we do round up half decimals. Right?
Yeah. We round up half decimals. Fuck yeah.
Boom.
7.1. We're right on par with
See,
IMDb.
unlike our podcast, you guys must do math here.
Oh, yes.
We don't do math on ours.
No. All right. So, I guess let's get into our personal suggestions.
Suggestion of the week.
So let's get into our personal suggestions for this week. I would like to say you're a guest, but you're not really, Will, because this is a crossover
episode, yeah.
So I guess you take the reins. What do you have for your personal suggestion this week? I guess since this is a crossover,
We'll do both.
Yeah, we'll have
The
a movie
and- yeah.
and a
Well, for
song.
the movie, I would pick the movie Glass I had mentioned earlier.
Okay.
It's continuation of Unbreakable and Split.
Yep.
Definitely recommend that. Just make sure you watch the other two films first, or it won't really make much sense to you.
Now, this isn't a direct sequel to Slit, is it?
No, it's not. I
No.
don't think there's any correlation to that film.
No correlation to James.
No, I've
McAvoy's
actually never
Slit.
heard of that Slit film that you're talking about. But
It's in the back section of Hollywood Video.
okay, yeah, I'll have to go in there. Oh wait, they're closed. Anyway, and then for music, you might think this is a little corny, but recently I've been listening to a lot of James Taylor. So Shower the People from the album In the Pocket. I don't know, just kind of, when you're driving, I mean, I work on the road for a living basically. So, sometimes I just listen to some soothing music,
So what do you got next, Steve?
So I'm going to do the movie first. I watched it, I believe, on Amazon Prime, as I mentioned. Another one of my favorite directors, Gus Van Sant. He did the movie Kids, if you're familiar with it. Very good film. He also did this movie. It's called Don't Worry, He Won't Get Far on Foot. The story, the star actor is Joaquin Phoenix. Jonah Hill's in it as well.
Okay.
There's a couple good people. Actually, Kim Deal is in it too. She plays like a recovering alcoholic. Kim Deal, as you know her from Sonic Youth.
Yeah.
But the movie is a true story. It's about John Callahan. If you actually Google John Callahan cartoons, you will know exactly who I'm talking about because you've seen these cartoons before. But it's his story. He was an alcoholic. Got in a terrible accident, became pretty much a paraplegic, but had barely use of his hands. It's his process in becoming, sober and also becoming this dark comedian through his comics. And very good movie, dark comedy, very, very good. Came out now 2 years ago. I forgot we're in the Roaring 20s here.
Yeah.
My album recommendation is the 1989 album by Tad called God's Balls.
Damn it.
The song I'm choosing is Sex God Missy. And that is my That is my choice of the week here. I think I stole something of Connor's. That's fucking crazy, dude. Connor, do you want more time now?
I mean, I did Inhaler, but
Okay, go ahead, do
Still
it.
Tad.
Just do it.
all right, yeah. Me and Steve are both
That's so
recommending
funny.
Tad, the grunge band. I don't know what year Inhaler came out, but it might be like 1991,
I can tell you right now. 1993.
1993. Check out Leafy Incline.
Yeah, hell yeah.
That's a banger.
Leaving Incline is a total banger.
And did your movie?
Yeah.
Okay. My my movie is the 1995 classic. Going back to Will got me thinking of kids movies. Bushwhacked, starring Daniel
Oh
Stern.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
Classic.
Awesome. My suggestion for this week is a local band out of the South Jersey area called Stay. They just released an EP called I Will Never Ask You To, and the song is called Highway. They have that, like, I guess, like, alternative, like, grungy feel, like, female vocalist, like, reminiscent of, like, the Cranberries type style.
Was that what you were playing earlier?
Yeah.
Kind of had like a Pixies vibe too.
Yeah.
Like for certain tunes.
Oh, also I forgot, but this Tad album was produced by Jay Mascis.
Oh.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
My movie suggestion for this week is the 1999 literal classic. And if you haven't seen it, I suggest that you go watch it, and you're going to want to watch it a second or third time, starring Matt Damon and Edward Norton, Rounders.
Oh.
Okay, I've never seen that.
You've never seen it?
Nope. There we go.
You will enjoy it.
You will love
Okay.
it.
It's funny
I
because
fucks
it
with
is
Good Will
it is a
Hunting.
classic film.
And Good Will Hunting too.
Yo, so listen,
Applesauce, bitch.
it's funny. I was on Basement Box Office with Will and Bill respectively here, and I had actually just seen that it came up as a 93% recommendation.
On
And it's-
Good Will
Netflix.
Hunting?
No,
Oh.
Rounders, and
Oh,
it was
okay.
made in 1999.
Yeah.
John Malkovich, Matt Damon,
Totoro.
Edward Norton. I was like,
Matt Damon was on a roll back then. It's
yeah,
crazy.
dude, and he was good in this.
Honestly,
movie.
this
is
movie's
like,
insane.
You ever seen like Rainmaker? The
Nah,
yeah,
I know what it
good
is,
movie, but like it's like his same type of acting. That he's a law school student who plays poker to pay his fucking way through law school. But Edward Norton does more shady shit, gets out of jail, they're best friends, and he kind of like goes on a path to earn some money because he owes money.
you know,
um,
Edward Norton was at one point linked to Courtney Love.
Oh,
Really?
Yeah.
interesting fact here.
Drawing connections here from movies to music.
So
Yeah.
before do the
And
group
movies.
do the group
She was in movies,
suggestion.
too. That's how she met him
Yeah.
in the
Oh,
Hollywood
yeah.
scene. Yeah.
Our group suggestion for our Rage Against the Mainstream group suggestion for a movie for this week is the 1991 film The Doors, starring Val Kilmer.
Yeah.
I knew it was going to be a matter of time before we had to bring this movie up. We did 2 Nirvana movies and no Doors movies.
Yeah, I'll have a
And-
lot to say about this movie because I'm not as much a fan as you would think I would be.
MK Ultra. But anyway,
Okay. Are you talking about the acid experiment?
no, I'm talking about the Doors.
Oh, okay. It's also an acid experiment.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
So you have anything else to add to The Doors?
No, you have something to add though, Bill.
Oh,
We
well.
asked you a question earlier in the segment.
All right. Well, if this is a Basement Box Office episode, then I'm going to have to say
No,
Van
no, you have to
Halen.
pick
But
one.
if this is
There-
a Rage Against the Mainstream episode, I have to say Ghostbusters.
Okay, but it's a hybrid episode, so you have to combine the two and figure out which one comes out on top victorious.
Ghost Halen.
Nah, not gonna
God
work.
damn it. Dude, this is hard for me.
Just gotta pick one.
You
can never see a Ghostbusters film ever again, or you can never hear Van Halen or anything of
I'm
extension.
gonna have to choose Ghostbusters. Has got to go.
So you'll keep Van
Yeah.
Halen.
Honestly,
There's too much
Well, you
catalog.
might like Ghostbusters like more because it's just the one thing, but
Yeah.
like
Van
there's
Halen.
a lot of Van Halen.
I just
go
wanted to do
around.
this
Yeah.
to judge your
Yeah.
level because, like, for those of you who don't know Bill, which is probably 99% of our listeners, considering that would be fucking weird unless you're a local listener. Like if somebody out in Belgium knows Bill Eastlack in Glassboro, New Jersey, that'd be fucking strange.
Yeah.
But if you come over and you ever see Bill and talk to Bill, he's probably going to talk to you about 3 things: Ghostbusters, Van Halen, or Zakk Wylde. Those are the 3 main courses of topic that Bill will probably bring to the table, and the fact that we were able to separate now that Van Halen has already beat out at least one of those. It's an interesting note.
There used to be a top 4
What was the fourth?
Chevy.
Oh yeah. I'm now a Honda guy, respectively.
Wow. Yep. CRV classic.
But
employed by Mitsubishi, the Japanese do it right. I must say.
Ironic.
but
They
yeah, I
never
mean,
get shit wrong.
I guess, like Ghostbusters was like a pivotal moment in my childhood, and it was like the first thing where like I felt like I truly identified with something. But if it wasn't for Van Halen, I never would have started playing guitar. I never would have gotten into music as much as I did, and we wouldn't be sitting down here. Me and you probably wouldn't be friends.
Wait, what?
Me and you probably wouldn't be friends if it wasn't for Van Halen. Like, you think about it, when we met, it was because we were both guitar players.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And that's where
And without Nirvana.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Van Halen would have to stay. Ghostbusters would have to go, unfortunately.
Yeah, if I had to pick between Jurassic Park and Nirvana, the dinosaurs are extinct once again.
That's perfect. I like that. But yeah, that about wraps it up for this week. This is Rage Against the Mainstream signing off.
Rage Against the Basement.
Rage Against the box office.
Raging in the basement to secure box office.
Basement Against the Mainstream.
Box
Basement Rage
office.
Machine.
Rage boxing in the basement.
But anyways, you can catch us on our social media pages at
Basement Rage
RATM
Office.
Podcast on Instagram and Twitter, Facebook.com/RATM Podcast. And our email is always open for submissions for bands that want to get an interview, insight, review of your music. You want to play it on our show. You can get us at ratmpodcast@gmail.com. For Basement Box Office, you can catch us on Instagram and Twitter at BBO Podcast, Facebook.com/Basement Box Office Podcast, and our email is always open at basementboxofficepodcast@gmail.com.
Mm-hmm.
This is Rage Against the Mainstream signing off for the evening. I'm Bill.
I'm Connor.
I'm Steve.
And I'm Will. And remember, popcorn's always better with butter.
Have a good night, guys. Thanks for listening.